Hi everyone, it's Zoe here again with another feedback video after the second week of the 21-day healing program that we're doing now in April 2021. And the theme this time is freedom, ease, and liberation. Expand beyond your beliefs. And I just want to start by saying that you are doing such an amazing job. Wow, I'm so impressed and it's so fantastic that what you're doing for yourselves and for the collective as a whole. So I just wanted to start by saying that. And I know that some of you, not all of you, but some of you in the group have had a pretty tough week. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that during this feedback video. It's been quite heavy, and there's a lot of collective energies coming up and things that pretty heavy emotions that you have to deal with. So you're doing such an amazing job. So thank you so much for what you're doing for yourselves and for the collective. So as usual, I will go through what we have been working on during this week. And also I will read some of your feedback emails and answer some of your questions that you have. So what have we done during this week? Week number 2, day 8. And the theme for day 8 was I am free. And during this session, we have worked on bringing in and integrate the energy of freedom. So when I tap into this energy, I feel it's quite thin in a way, but in a positive way. Very thin and very light and very expansive. That's the energy of freedom. I know I think you know what I mean. So this is an additional step in expanding and opening up to the field of endless possibilities. When you have released all your limitations and really you feel completely free, and that's the aim of stepping into that field. And just by integrating and feel that energy of total freedom, that I am free, you are moving towards that goal, right? So we're doing that we're doing this by integrating this freedom energy. So day 9, the power of light within, I decide. Here we were focused on integrating and sharing the energy of your sovereignty. So you step into your total divine power and you are this divine light. And so we've been working on strengthening your sovereignty, strengthening your own light so that you can really feel that energy and come in contact with that energy and really be that energy to the fullest. And you are a child of God and you rule or exist according to the natural laws of the universe. So I'm not going to talk a lot about what's going on in the world, but I think I think you know what I mean when I say that we have to step into our sovereignty and say no to certain things that are not okay. Um, and your truth, you can just feel into your truth, and I'm not here to tell you what your truth is. So of course it's according to your truth, and but it's a very important step in the collective as a whole to really step into our sovereignty, to say no to certain things and claim our divine sovereignty. So that's the energy that we've been working on, and this is like a general energy. Um, I'm thinking about Archangel Michael, using his light sword, as cutting off things that doesn't serve the light. Also, I love the goddess Durga, the Hinduic goddess. That is also, she's riding her tiger and using her, I don't know what's called in English, like, that this big knife, machete, it's called in Swedish. Cutting all the demons, cutting out all the demons, and cutting off all the dark energies. So that's like the picture that you can have for this session. Now you have already received the session, but that's the picture you can have for the session that you have experienced. So you're claiming your own divine power in that sense. And the next day, day 10, was connecting to the Golden Light Network. And as I told you in the last feedback video, we already connected you to the Golden Light Network. I didn't know that when I set out the schedule, but we started off, like, before the whole process, we were connecting all the participants to the Golden Light Network. And during this session, day 10, we were more establishing that contact with the Golden Light Network. We were establishing the connection and strengthening this connection. So we were checking all the individual connections to the Light Network, so that everything, was done in a correct way and intact. This Light Network. So if you can picture it like this. Before we started the 21-day healing program, we connected all of you to the Light Network and to the Golden Light Network by, just holding, maybe you're just holding one hand in the Light Network, in the grid. And during this session, your whole being was connected. So all of your being, your physical body, your energy system, everything was connected to the Golden Light Network. And just to repeat, the Golden Light Network, it's a template for the new earth. So what you're doing during this session is that you're connecting to the new. You're connecting energy-wise. You're connecting to the new earth energy-wise by doing that. This is my way of explaining this, and this is my way of supporting people in coming into the new and step into the new. And I know that some people have other explanations, and that's totally fine. But this is the way I picture it, and this is the way I work with it. And day 11, there was this healing bath of the golden frequency. And so after you've been totally connected to the Golden Light Network, you were flooded with this golden frequency. The golden frequency consists of many DNA upgrading codes. It's the same codes that are programmed in the crystal, the 533 crystal, that I've been using now since 2014. I started sharing the golden frequency in 2013, 2014, something like that. I don't quite remember now. So there's an entire talk about the golden frequency and what it's about, and these DNA upgrading codes and how they are activated and so forth. So you can watch that. So I'm not going to talk about it because it's quite it's quite a lot. So I'm not going to share all of it during this talk. But and I know that we had this session in the last 21-day healing program that we did in December. And so you might have experienced this energy before. So this time you might experience it differently. And hopefully you did, because hopefully you received new codes. That's at least what I see, that you received new codes because you have been upgraded since the last 21-day healing program. And so you are receiving new codes. And those of you who are new to this, that wasn't part of the last 21-day healing program and doesn't have the crystal and hasn't listened to the talk about the golden frequency, it's totally fine. No worries. You will receive the codes that you are ready for, and it's very individualized because it all depends on where you are in your ascension process, what kind of codes you can take in, what kind of codes you can receive. So it's all a process. And what else? Yeah, all the codes of the golden frequency are now since a year ago, April, May 2020. All of the codes in of the golden frequency are in the network, are in the Golden Light Network, because it hasn't been before. It has been downloaded since 2013 and 14 up until 2020. And all these crystals have been upgrading during that time. So just a brief overview of these codes. Okay, so day 12 was the journey through the 11th portal, the bridge between to the new. So I've been talking also about the 11th portal now for quite some time, so you can check another video out when I talk about the 11th portal and going through that tunnel. I did that more than a year ago myself, and now I'm sharing it in many different ways. And this session is also in the healing meditations that I think all of you have. You can buy it if you haven't, if you don't have it already. In that healing meditation, I guide you through this tunnel to like quote unquote the end of the tunnel, where is a that's where the realm or the space or the place, quote unquote place, where all the of endless possibilities, and that's where you have access to all dimensions. So it's a place, quote unquote, place of multidimensionality. And from there, you can travel anywhere. So, people that some of you have been following me for quite some time, and I never speak about, going from 3D, 4D, 5D. I'm not talking about that linear perspective because that's very 3D. The linear perspective is very 3D, and we're going to something that we cannot really know before we get there, of course, because we're always, evolving. But the way I explain this in the ascension process is that we're going to this realm of multidimensionality, and from there we can pick and choose wherever we would like to go, what kind of dimension would like to go. So I'm not a very fan of talking about 3D, 4D, 5D. Everybody's talking about 5D. We're going to 5D. It's like, no, we're going to this more expansive realm. I think that's a very limited way of thinking. But I know what people mean when they say, we're going to 5D. And I can totally relate to that. That's just, words, but I just want to make that clear because it might get some new ideas for you when I speak about the multidimensionality, so that you know what I'm talking about when I talk about that. Okay, so and day 13 was titled "Return Home to Paradise." So that was the aim for for traveling through the 11th gate, coming to this endless possibility realm of multidimensionality. But from there, now during this 21 Day Healing Program, we are choosing to go home to what I call paradise. I know it's a very cliche talking about paradise, but I could not name it in any other way because it's so difficult to name it, because that's like the closest thing I could call it. It was paradise. So we were going there, and some of you experienced meeting people from that realm and had such a beautiful meeting. I might do an extra feedback video on just that, because I think it's quite important to share your experiences, because some of it I haven't had time to go through before I do these recordings. So maybe I'll do that later and pick up all of those stories, because I think it's so beautiful. But some people have been talking about meeting this couple, or this man and a woman from the other world, from paradise, what I call paradise. Those two people are part of your team, and they came to several people during this day and during this session. And so here during this session, here in this place, you were bathing in these beautiful energies of paradise, coming home to the land of origin, like the original energies. You were just receiving these original energies. And some people were getting some memories. They were getting memories back and some information about this place, and how how humanity actually became limited and what happened. So the aim for this session is to integrate this energy so that we will build this bridge between the worlds, so that we can open up between the worlds. So we are building now. We are just started to build this bridge because you have received the energy, and thereby you are this bridge between the worlds. And now what is going on is that we are broadening this bridge, we are widening this bridge, so that the whole like I explain it like an energy wall that is in between us, so we can just get rid of that energy wall so that we can interact um, with them and come back together through this energy barrier. Okay, and day 14 was also, being home in paradise, just receiving again these delightful energies, these beautiful energies of paradise. And maybe you got yourself a tour from these people and meeting these people that live there. That is actually us in a way. And maybe we received some more information about this place, and just being in this beautiful and lovely atmosphere and anchoring this beautiful energy within yourself. Okay, so that was the whole second week, what we have been working on. It's been quite intense. And also with the supermoon during this week, this Tuesday was like, oh my God, everything at the same time, right? So in general, what people have experienced during this week, it's a little bit the same as last week. Nausea, headaches, um, pretty powerful process, I would say, for some people. Very powerful. Um, Pretty exhausted. I know that some people have been sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. I was just answering in the Facebook group a woman that talks about, yeah, I'm just sleeping all the time. And I just tell, yeah, the whole group is just sleeping through the whole process. Not the whole group, but a lot of people are just sleeping and sleeping and sleeping. So they're very tired. And so just be with that, don't make any resistance. And I know it can be difficult if you have like a regular job. For me, I can I can I can go up in the morning at any time I want to, so I have no problem with that. Thank you, universe, for setting that up, or thanks to myself for creating that. um so it's been a quite intense week, I would say. Some pretty heavy emotions coming up. Um, some people have been having a lot of anxiety and a lot of sadness, and I'm going to talk about that later on as well, a little bit. And some people have been seeing previous lifetimes, like past lifetimes or parallel existence, what I call it, and also very vivid dreams, just as last week. Um, And also, this week has been quite confusing for some people, because the way I see it, we are in this great shift, and you know that, and we have been in this shift for quite some time, during several years. It's a quite broad time frame in this, that we're going through this shift. But now we are really, we're letting the old go. We are we're leaving the old world because we're stepping into something new. So there is this separation that we're going through, and they might contain separation from family members, like energy separation. And I know that you can relate to this. We are all going through it. I'm going through it. Everybody's going through it. And we've been through it for quite some years now, but it's very intense at the moment because people are making different choices, and they're choosing timelines. So it's quite tough, and it can be connected to a lot of sorrow, like both on an individual level and also the collective sorrow for leaving the old, because that's very, oh, how do you say it? you can really relate to the old world because that's so familiar. That's the world. It's so familiar to you, and so it's, people are hanging in the old world because hanging in there because it's so familiar for them. But it's really time now to be conscious about your choices and what kind of world you would like to live in. So you have to choose by choosing your own vibration and choosing your own energy. And this can be very confusing, and that's what I was talking about, the confusion, because we are in this shift and we are leaving a whole different world that we have been living in for thousands of years, not only in this incarnation, because we can relate to other lifetimes in that realm. And now we're shifting to something new that we're not yet in to 100%. We have just some taste of it. And so now in this in-between worlds, it's a lot of confusion. So just be with that. It's okay to be confused. I'm being confused a lot as well. Not a lot, but I have been confused sometimes. It's like, yeah, I don't really know. And that's okay to really don't know. And just be loving to yourself and be just self-loving. So that's a little bit about the confusion. And some people have been experiencing some restlessness in your body, like this bubbling. I don't know the expression in English, but it's like bubbles in your body, like sparkling water or something. And also some shaking in your body, like shaking, like the nervous system is aligning to a higher version of yourself. So your nervous system is shaking and your body shaking. So, and also, at least in the Swedish group, in the Scandinavian group, there's been quite some talk about the emerald tablets and codes. People have been receiving codes from the emerald tablets. And I did a 21-day healing program several years ago, only in Swedish, unfortunately, called the Egyptian codes, where we received codes from the emerald tablet during one day. And this has come up again, so we'll see what's coming out of it. It seems like an activation to me, like you've been activated and receiving different codes from the emerald tablets. Okay, so that was like in general what you have been experiencing during this second week. And now I'm going to read some of your feedback emails. Hi, Zoe. This 21-day healing program is very different from the last one I did past December. It has not been all roses and sunshine. I can assure you about that. It's been extremely eye-opening to the suffering of humanity. Yes, this what I was talking about just a minute ago. Of course, I've never been blinded to humanity's suffering. I've been a nurse for 40 years and have been all kinds of horrors, and I've seen all kinds of horrors and lifestyles. I've seen what I called the living dead, where the living seems to have lost all the light in their eyes. To me, that is the greatest epidemic in this world. So this 21-day program has made me aware of this sadness even more. I see it and I feel it, and at times I pull back from it when the pain becomes too great. But I understand it and I take refuge in the light within. This is I can relate to this so much because that's the way I've been experiencing myself as well. Just people um, not having the light in their eyes, and that hurts. And it's a great sadness. It really is. I understand that the only way to change this great sadness I see on a daily basis is to strengthen my own light until I can become a beacon of divine light for myself and others. Outward change begins inward. It's an inside job. So I have drawn more strength from this program as well as determination to keep raising my vibration, to stay steady on this journey, and to fill myself with joy even in the midst of pain and suffering. and to raise myself above it, knowing that in that higher place inside myself is where the real action takes place. This is where the real healing for all of us, the collective, is made manifest. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. As an actor in this crazy but magnificent movie, I love the way you express this. Oh, yeah, we're all actors in this movie. But my job is to open up to my divine light, to shed the costumes that I have worn and no longer fit, and to remove all the masks that that have smothered me until I'm left with only the brilliant light of my soul. Oh, I just love your words. So beautiful. It sounds impossible, but it's not, because it's that is who we really are, and the time has come to claim our truth. I cannot afford to waste another moment. Thank you, Zoe, for this wonderful program that you so lovingly share with us all, and blessings to you and to each of us on this journey. Thank you so, so much for your beautiful words. Um, yeah, it was just, ah, so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Dear Zoe, Annette, and Cassandra, another week of very beautiful experiences that is until today. I was really looking forward to returning home this morning, since yesterday about lunchtime something changed. I started feeling ill, had headaches and a terrible lower back pain, and my rash has spread to my back. During the healing today, my mind was busy remembering many instances where I experienced people being quite nasty to me. Then I was thrown back to a time and place where I was more than horrible. I found myself in a crisis, shocked at what I had done, wondering if I could ever forgive myself. After taking a few deep breaths, I decided to do the crystal chamber meditation. It was very soothing and cleared my mind a little. Afterwards, I played the same music I used for your healings to make sure I would be able to put my experience into perspective and not freak out again. Now I feel reasonably calm. My heart still aches and feels sorrow, but I know that I can't change what I did in another life. I can only make sure that I do not repeat the action ever again. I'm learning many lessons, some obviously the hard way. Thank you so much for your love and support. Blessings and much love to you. And these are my experiences. I think this is the same person. I'm getting a little talking about confusion. I'm getting a little bit confused. Sometimes I do this. I usually do this little line in between, so I know where it starts and ends. Anyways, these are my experiences. Day 8, I am free. It was a peaceful session. I encountered prophets and Poseidon appeared as well. Some entities I recognized, others I didn't. Sometimes I had weird images like road workers digging up the side of the road. I don't remember much else, but I know that the energies were very strong. I felt like I didn't have to do or think anything at all and just be in this moment. Day 9, the power of light within. I decided to have a talk to my body, to my cells, telling them that I wanted them to pop and release all the bad and deliberating memories completely today. And this discussion was inspired by a rash I developed about 10 days ago. Out of the blue, on my torso erupted many tiny yet very itchy blisters, and I have no specific idea what could have caused them. So I thought that maybe they are part of the cleansing and healing process, and I should be grateful to receive such a concrete sign of the purification process. Yes, I would say that it actually is some part of the healing process. Absolutely, um, like this cleansing part of it. Afterwards, I experienced the most amazing journey. I visited different dimensions. I wish I could show you and let you feel what it was like. I encountered much peace and love. The places were a variety of colors: orange, green, red, and yellow. I encountered different entities. I asked them where they were from, and one answer was Arcturian. Each dimension had a different energy. I experienced much tingling from head to toe at different moments. Once I found myself in a place where the inhabitants were very happy, laughing so much at themselves and each other. Some even pulled faces and were joking. One was quite big, floating above, and he looked a bit like the image many have of the devil. But he was changed. This is so interesting and so beautiful. But he was changed, had a sparkle in his eyes, and he meant no harm at all. His message was to have fun and not to take everything so seriously. Towards the end, I received two codes. One, a beautiful pattern I can't really describe. The first one looked a bit like the third Hebrew letter, and it was of a bright golden color. And the other looked a bit like the 12th Hebrew letter and was in bright red. Oh wow! You also received code. That was also one part. I will talk about that later. In the Scandinavian group, people receiving codes and keys. Um, Day 10, connecting to the Golden Light Network. Shortly after the session started, I found myself in the presence of source energy. My heart almost exploded with joy. It was unbelievable and indescribable experience. It was an unbelievable and indescribable experience. Next, I found myself climbing in sheer mountain wall. Um, my guide was ahead. I was exhausted and just managed to secure myself on a hook. I could not find anywhere to secure my feet or a protuberance to hold on to with my hands. My guide was encouraging me and said, "You'll be all right." Whilst I was just hanging, having to trust the hook, my guide was smiling. I just love this scene. It's like, hanging there. It's like, and the guide was just like, "Yeah, you can do it." It's like laughing. I just love this picture. Um, Next, I was walking across a paddock in an alpine region. The grass was green, and in the short distance, I could see the hut. I mentally said, "Yes, yes, peel my eyes, take the veil off." I could feel the pull. My eyelids were stuck, but suddenly my eyes opened and began to flicker. This lasted a few seconds, perhaps. My eyes closed again, and after a while, I realized that my eyes were flickering again behind my eyelids. Towards the end, I bathed in purple pink light with occasional royal blue tiny dots. Then a last energy boost passed through my body, pale yellow light and total calm. It took quite some effort to come back. I can understand that. There was something here. Yeah, about the veil, coming off. Um, it would be very interesting how you experience, now after a couple of days, like the end of the 21-day healing program. If you would like to write in and explain if you feel a difference, if you see a difference, taking the veil off, maybe having more contact, with different realms in your daily life, also seeing through the illusion, like the 3D illusion, if you can see more, in a way, and sense more. So that would be very interesting if you would like to come back to us about that. Day 11, the golden frequency, the healing bath. What a beautiful healing. I remember thinking, not so fast. It seemed like time was flying, and I was immersed in calming, loving energies. I at times saw and at times felt entities being with me. For the rest of the hour, I simply rested and enjoyed, knowing that I was safe and loved. Day 12, journey through the 11th gate, bridge to the new. When I reread or listened to the recounts of my healing experiences, I realized how inadequate they are. How can one possibly express feelings with words? I know it's really difficult. Today I felt like wanting to break free of my body. I experienced its limitations so vividly. I was traveling through the tunnel when I heard a small explosion like a noise. I thought it might be the light bulb or the salt lamp, but the noise kept coming back and it brought me back. I live in an old cottage with old wiring, and I had to make sure there wasn't a fire. Perhaps my neighbor was doing something in his garden, but it felt like it was happening in my house. Only afterwards I saw that it was the scented oil in the dish over the tea light that had exploded. Ooh, all the water that had evaporated and splatters of oil were all over the table. Soon enough, I was transported to my first destination. In the other world, I saw from a distance a small village with people living in harmony and peace, smiling and calming, doing what they had to do. So this is the description of paradise. I assume from what I understand. Next, I visited the angelic realm. I saw about 5 angels, so they were so beautiful, peaceful, and loving. My heart melted with this love. I felt a wind blowing in my left ear, and I saw human reptilians. I know it sounds weird. I visited other realms and where I met beautiful entities, and I know they all want to help us. I felt carried all the way, always safe and loved and accepted as I am. Today I had an awesome experience by putting it into words, but putting it into words seems to diminish the reality of it. Yeah, I can totally relate to that. When you trying to describe, that's I when I try to describe my journey through the 11th gate, I was like, I could not describe it at all. Um, it's totally impossible, actually. So another person writes like this: I'm just enjoying all the love and bliss during the healing process. Thank you all so much. During the prior meditations, healing, and transmissions, I have experienced similar things like calm and chills, but this bliss is so peaceful. I set my alarm but wakes up sometimes after 50 minutes or 1 hour and 10 minutes. Sometimes I just want to stay in this state longer. I have had vertigo and dizziness for 5 weeks now. By the end of our first week, my dizziness is only slight and not vertigo, and no vertigo. Um, I hope this is greater grounding. Maybe New Earth may made the difference. I thank my Ascension team. I hope they would provide that what I need if I don't know how to ask. Yes, that's good. I give them permission to maximize my healing for my highest good. That's also a very good intention. You know, please do the best you can. Give me the best you have. um, yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Um, yeah, some people are experiencing this bliss energy and this beautiful, energies, and have these beautiful visions and all like that. But some people are not. So just want to say that again, as I mentioned last feedback video. But just trust the process. There was actually one woman in the Swedish group that wrote in, and she had done all the 21-day healing programs that I have facilitated during the years. I think we're about 13, 14, something like that. And she wanted to tell the whole group, but it during the whole these all of these 21-day healing programs that she has experienced, it has been very, different. That the journeys have been different, and she has not been seeing so much, having these, meeting ETs and meeting angels and all these trips, going out in the space and everything like that. She hasn't really experienced that, but she can relate, and she sees the difference in her daily life, and that's what I think is like not the most important, but it's very important to that you can use these transformations in your daily life, that you can feel a difference in your daily life and in your relationships and in your work, and you can in your life in general. So I know that there's some people that do not feel that much of the energies, and that's totally fine. and that's totally okay. And as I said last time, just be aware of what you're going through in your daily life, what kind of people you're meeting, what kind of circumstances you're put into, because the universe and your team, they're serving you for your, highest good, for your development. So see if things are happening in a different way, and having expectations also, because these other people, they're experiencing so much and they're going through this tunnel and meeting aliens and doing things like that, and I'm not. And maybe I talked about this last time, so I don't have to repeat myself, but sometimes I do anyway. Maybe that brings up a feeling of being left out and being forgotten about. I don't feel the team. I don't see the team. They've totally forgotten about me, and you're feeling, separate. You're feeling left out, and everything that comes up during the 21 Day Healing Program is serving you. Everything. It's not just these journeys, these extraordinary journeys that people are doing. Everything is serving you. So be aware of what you're feeling. Be aware of your thoughts and take notes. It's like, yes, maybe you have to take care of that feeling of being left out. Maybe I was bullied in school, or maybe I've been feeling left out in my family. Maybe I've been feeling separated from the world around me, and now I thought, like, oh, now I'm gonna join this group of light workers all over the world, and we're gonna do this together. But I feel left out, and not even with the people that I thought I was gonna be a part of this group. And this brings up a feeling that you have to deal with. So sit with that feeling and go through the emotions that comes with it, and work it through. Work yourself through all those emotions. Okay, so that was a little bit about that again. I just wanted to mention that I felt. Okay, dear Zoe and Annette, just thought I'd send you today's experience as well. This was the lady before, I guess. It was so beautiful. Day 14, being home in paradise. Today's healing was in great contrast to yesterday's. I think she was experiencing not, this paradise energy, but quite heavy stuff. I was gently transported to a place where much forgiving and understanding took place. I was bathing in beautiful and loving energies until I felt completely melting and becoming one with them. But then I passed through another dimension. I saw amazing colors and shapes, and I felt different entities surrounding and upholding me. I arrived in another place with even deeper and stronger energies of love and peace. I felt so calm and content to be there. Towards the end, sparkles of golden light resembling elongating raindrops flowed down on and into me. It was so beautiful. I heard higher self saying, "This is who I am, and this is how it should be, and this is where I belong. This is home." Oh, wow, beautiful. Ah, and there was this other person experiencing these raindrops of energies. I think it might be this one. I'm not sure if I have it, and I'm gonna read it, but we'll see. Hello, beautiful Zoe. This is the second 21-day healing program that I've participated in. Haven't yet had so many noticeable experiences, since I usually do the healing at night before falling asleep. But just now I did it in the morning, and I'll just say, wow. I only want to describe it since I'm so fascinated by what happened. I was outside and stepped into what I felt like a greenhouse tunnel. There was transparent walls, although quite dark, and I walked because it twisted and turned up and over a hill. In the end, I arrived in a front of an opening, and I stood high on a hill and looked out over an amazing landscape saw the sea, lush forest, and sunshine. Me, who is afraid of heights, didn't even think about that, except that I felt like jumping and seeing what happens, and and, and seeing what happens. Then suddenly there were big wings on my body, and I could fly around and see that beautiful place from above, which was a cool experience. Then I saw myself lying on a fluffy bed in a smaller glass house, like a spa on a beach, surrounded by beautiful nature and flowers. I floated above myself and saw that a few beings um, surrounded me. I was so peace. It was so peaceful and loving. I felt a long jittery feeling on the right side of the rib cage, kind of like something vibrating was removed. And then it felt like something was taken out on the left side of the rib cage. It felt like chopping for a minute, and even on the left side of the stomach, it was this sharp pain, but very short, but something pulled out of my body. After that, I went out and bathed in a natural spring. It was like a canal, and when I dove under the water, I saw thousands of sparkling crystals in different colors all over the bottom. It was so amazingly beautiful. Like it felt later, it felt like I was covered in light. That actually resembles. I just remembered from the from Atlantis. We had these oh, what do you call it? Not swimming pools, like pools. I don't know the word, but like water and containers with waters, and at the bottom it was filled with crystals to purify the water and also purify clean crystals in that water. I've never experienced anything like this, experiencing such clear action. And I usually listen to what other people's experiences are, and I think it's absolutely amazing because I usually feel things in the body, and sense colors and such. So for me, this was so big and so powerful. Finally, a big warm thank you to you and your team, and who makes this fantastic journey possible, and sending love to all of the others who are on this journey. Thank you so much for sharing. And this is also my experience that sometimes, going through these 21 day healing programs and you're not feeling that much, and all of a sudden it's just poof, pops and just seeing a lot of things. Um, but it doesn't have to be that way to benefit from the energies. Just want to make that clear. There was another person meeting Tesla, so that was quite interesting. I think I was reading that meeting with Tesla and talk. Yes, I did last time. Another person writes like this: during yesterday's healing bath, the golden frequency, I remember that I went up a beautifully blooming staircase and stood on a golden arched bridge. Very beautiful. The day's healing began with me going up the staircase again, but this time it wasn't so wonderful or blooming. The whole staircase and even the bridge looked like a construction site. It was hard to climb up the staircase, which was now both uneven and broken. The I see this as I've been talking about, the bridge between the worlds, and so now we are constructing this bridge, and we are broadening the bridge so we can go back and forth between worlds. The bridge that I later came upon was just a footbridge, so I began to for length, build both for length, height, and width. So she was, starting to build this, broadening this bridge. Really experienced how the bridge got wider and longer. At last it was shining in golden light, as in yesterday's meditation. In front of me I saw a golden gate, and around it an aura in all the colors of the rainbow. A curtain of mist lay in front of this gate. I walked right through it and came out on the other side like an energy bubble. An energy bubble that I could shape as I wanted, and it even contained all the colors of the rainbow, kind of like a soap bubble. I ended up in a lower crystal chamber. I ended up in a, I don't know what she's in a crystal chamber. I think I ended up in a crystal chamber, and my energy bubble lay on a crystal bed. Here I could go in and out of my bubble. I saw how it was permeated with electric impulses, and depending on what was happening to it, it changed shape. After a while, my team came forward and showed themselves. Even they, even they were energy bubbles, and saw that now we are going to take a trip in a beautiful formation. We set off to travel through time and space. In front of us floated a spaceship that kind of dragged us behind it. In terms of energy, it felt like we were water skating behind a boat. I felt how it swirled and uh, I don't know about this word wound around me, and was traveling past stars and planets. First, I thought we were going to the sun, but then we traveled past the sun and beyond it, and we came into another star system. Wow, what a journey! We got closer to a big green planet that changed colors from green to dark pink the closer we came to it. When we were pretty close to the planet, it opened up and sucked us in the planet's atmosphere. The planet was only a shell and was hollow inside. Here inside, we encountered an amazing landscape. There were crystals everywhere. A big place where you could make wonderful music, a place where you could make art, a special thing to paint paintings on, a place where you sat in front of a big screen and could educate yourself, an enormous library, and I also got a sense of the Akashic records. Bubbles that sat in groups and planned things. There was so much energy, so much knowledge, so much love. I was now taken further deeper in and met what I felt like God's power. A masculine energy, an enormous golden yellow energy bubble that opened in front of me and enveloped me in his energy. My energy bubble went perfectly with his, like a little egg. I lay there, cherished by this enormous energy. It was like coming home. A lot of warmth, full of love, and totally natural. After a while, I felt a new God power coming closer. This time it was a feminine energy. This feminine God power encircled us wholly and completely. So now I lay within a masculine God power that was in turn surrounded by a feminine God power and became filled with so much energy. I felt the replenish of this feminine energy in the form of drops. Yes, here it is again. I read it again. I felt the replenish of this feminine energy in the form of drops. Sweet, small, rainbow colored drops that landed in my energy bubble like a still rain. So this is like the same experience. I just wanted to make sure I make it clear. After a while, both powers took my hands that I didn't really have. I was just an energy bubble, but that's how I felt. My hands lay on their respective heart energy center, and then each laid their own hand on top of mine. Their other two hands lay on my energy heart, and here an energy exchange from heart to heart began. They spoke to me about the contact between me and God's power, that it should be restored, and then it ended with the words, "Communication is now restored." Then I was cradled to sleep in this wonderful healing power of God. When I woke up during the night, when I woke during the night, I felt as if I had been run over by a train. I lay there in the whole night. I lay there the whole night with the three down dovettes covering me. I was up during the night and drank at least a liter of water. What's about this container? I don't know how it is in gallons. That was mixed in colloidal silver. Because I still felt the sensation of poisoning. She was writing before. I'm not reading all of it. She was explaining a little bit that she felt poisoned, and she felt as if she was not feeling well. Every hour that passed, my symptoms get better and better, and at last my body even began to warm up. This morning when I woke, I was completely rested. The headache was gone, and I'm going to wander through my day with a lovely feeling in my heart. From my heart to all of you, so much gratitude. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was so beautiful. Wow, thank you so much. There's so many beautiful stories that I would like to share, but I have to, you know, limit myself talking about limitations. So now we'll move on to some questions. And there is one person here wondering about the keys. On day 10's connection to the Golden Light Network, a key suddenly came to me out of the light. It was stuck in a lock and also had 3 to 4 other keys that were on a key ring, like a keychain. I took care of these keys, and now it so happens that I also participated in a distribution of keys on day 11 on the last 21 Day Healing program in December. That day also dealt with the Light Network. I participated in a gathering where keys were distributed. I was related to the being who got the last key. I used this key on one occasion during the live streaming of the light chain. This is something that we have in the Scandinavian group. Sometimes I do this live streaming, and we have done different light works. I think during this light work that she's talking about, we were doing this huge cleanse of the earth. I think that's the one. You surprised me then when you told the group that some of us had keys that we should use. And this is so funny because I'm just, going with the flow. I'm channeling what we should do, seeing these other, different things that different places that we should cleanse and all that. So, and then it just came to me like, yeah, there's some people in this group that have keys. Use them now. And so she's just confirming that, and it's always nice to have confirmation of what you're channeling, because then you know that you're on the right track, right? Before then I hadn't thought so much about the key, and now again I've gotten a key. Zoe, what is this key? Do we all get one or get keys? Thanks, Zoe, and everybody out there. I love being a part of this 21 Day Healing program, and I'm so happy. Yes. How should I explain this? It's a long story, but from what I remembered from the last call of Atlantis, many people, or some people, went down there. I was one of them. Going down to the earth and helping out and in unpacking, or how should I say this? Because some dark forces came in, and before they got a hand of God power, or the creative force, we closed down, we shut down parts of that force that it's difficult to translate into English, but we were shutting down like the God's light, the God power. It sounds very crazy, it sounds very strange, but that's what we did. We were deactivating a lot of our DNA. We were shutting down DNA to a large extent, and so we were locking doors. Shutting doors, locking doors with keys, like energy keys, energy codes, and then holding on to these keys, or placing these keys and those codes on different places. We have placed these codes in different other realms, like on different other planets in the Golden Light Network. And I have this place on the Pleiades. It's a crystal temple where some of these codes uh, were were placed, and also the golden frequency were placed on the mothership. So that was my part of it. And then now I'm downloading these keys and those codes. And sometimes what we are doing together, just by meeting each other, we are activating these keys and those codes. Sometimes we're not really aware of these keys, but sometimes, as this woman, she is aware of it, and she really received a key. She could see the keys, and now she also have used one key. So that's what we did during the Atlantean times. We were shutting down the force, the power, and now we are activating everything again. So we taking back these keys where the keys are activated. We place a lot of keys within ourselves. A lot of codes are placed in our bones. That's a very good place to put them, and also in stones, crystal stones, and also different power places around the earth. Um, Different keys and different codes have been placed, and just by connecting to those places, like maybe going there, but you don't have to go there. You're connecting to these power places and receiving codes from different power places, and then you can use those codes in your work, consciously or unconsciously. And you're also, as I said, you're sharing these codes with different people. The way I've been working with these codes is I'm sharing the golden frequency, for example, in these crystals, and during these 21 day healing programs, and also in other, like sharing them for free, of course, in many different in many different ways. And also the cosmic language is another way of sharing codes. I don't see that everybody get codes. We all have different parts in this whole ascension process. We all have different um, gifts and different roles. So some people are holding the light. They are a pillar of light all the way through. That's their mission. So and some people are more active in another way, having keys and codes, doing these different light works and things like that. So I hope that this explains it a little bit more. Another person writes, a few times I've also experienced that I'm not really steady on my feet when I have I have to concentrate, because it feels like I'm going to fall over. It feels like I'm really not anchored on the earth. It's a kind of floaty feeling. What is this about? Yes, I totally can relate to this, and this is one part of me falling down the stairs. And it was 2 months ago, and it was not only like the dark forces coming in and wanted me to get hurt because we were doing this 21 day healing program. It was also because I was very unsteady. And the way I see it is that, and I can totally relate to this in my daily life, because I'm very clumsy. I'm extremely clumsy. I'm, tripping and going into things, even though I see that there's a table or that there's a door. I can just go into that door. I can just go into that chair or that table, and like in my own home. And I know the sofa is placed there. I know it's there, but still, I just walking right on it. And I've been tripping. I've been not falling since I fell, um, but very clumsy. And I'm dropping things all the time. My cell phone. I don't know how many times I've been. I'm supposed to take my cell phone and just it drops. And my cat, she's she's getting so scared because I'm just dropping things all the time. It's like she's waking up. I'm sorry, babe, I'm sorry for waking you up. So I can totally relate to this. And the way I see it is that we are in the middle of two worlds. We're not, all of us is not in the so-called 3D world, and all of us is not in the multidimensional realm. Um, we're like in between worlds. So we are still, we can still, I'm sitting on this sofa, I'm having this table, I can feel the table, but at the same time, I'm not really here. So I'm in between worlds, and we are all, not all of us maybe, but a lot of us are in between worlds, and that's why we are, feeling that we're not quite steady on our feet and are, tripping and doing clumsy things. So please take care of yourself, and especially when you're driving a car, because sometimes this has happened to me several times during the last years. Sometimes people that are, co-driving with you, other people in other cars, they don't see you because you are in another dimension. And I always, when I'm out driving, I always, make eye contact. You should always do that, but I always make sure that I make eye contact with people so that they see me, and I see that they are stopping before I, move on. I'm just not going very fast. I'm driving pretty fast, but when I see the road is clear. But the other day, I think it was like 2 days ago or this week, I felt like I was not really present. I was not in this world. And so I had to take it more slowly, because I'm still in this 3D realm. I'm still in my car and I can get hurt. And, but it was so clear to me that I cannot really feel that I'm in this car. I have had a problem, being steady on the road. And this was during daytime, and I don't drink alcohol at all. I'm no doing no drugs at all. Never done that. So I've had alcohol in my early, when I was younger, but that's a different story. My party side during my 20s and 30s. Anyway, so I felt very unsteady on the road. I could not really see the other cars, so I had to be very careful. So yes, so it's pretty normal, and I know it can be quite um, um, confusing in a way. Okay, so another person writes, and my husband and I had extra time for the healing, since for the most part we lay in bed with COVID. After the day's magical healing bath, the fever, really horrible back pain, and the cough are gone. A good feeling in the heart has arrived, with a sense of confidence and that all will be well. It really feels as if the heart and lungs are expanding every day in a positive way. Can it be that COVID can be a positive step in our transformation and spiritual development? Imagine if it's exactly the opposite of what we think, and that's something good for us. How huge gratitude to my healing team and to all of you in this group. Well, first of all, congratulations for feeling so much better after the healing session. I'm so happy that the healing is helping you and your COVID recovery. And yes, I totally agree with you that it might be that the COVID, the whole thing, like globally, is the way I see it. Like everything that happens, like in a quote unquote bad way, always serves us on a deeper level. The darkness serves the light always, always. Even if the darkness is not really aware of that, it serves us. They think that, oh, now we're bringing in this, thing, and we're doing this bad thing, like haha, and then the light is just have the opportunity to transform this and also expand beyond it. And it's a huge development, like personal and spiritual development, and that is within this lesson. And I see it very clearly what's going on globally at the moment, because things are coming up, like really dark things are exposed, and will be exposed because and thanks to all of this. That's my opinion. It's totally fine if you don't agree with me, but that's how I see it, and that's very clear to me anyway. And so the darkness always serves the light, and it pushes us through a transformation. It really, pressing and pushing us to go through this development and go through this transformation. And for myself, I got Corona COVID last year, May 1st. So it was almost 1 year ago. It was just right after my twin flame passed. I went to the other side. He passed on April 11th last year, and I got COVID May 1st. And of course, it was not a very pleasant experience, to be honest. And to me, it's not at all a influenza, not at all. This is so the energy of it is so metallic, it's so artificial, and it's so ew, it's so icky and dark. It's not an influenza at all. I've had influenza. I had the swine flu, and I've had different influenzas, like in my life, during my lifetime, and I've been very ill, different times, in different flus. But this is not a flu. This is not a flu. This is something really dark. And just wanted to mention that. This is my experience, what I felt when I had it, and I signed up for this lesson for different reasons. First of all, my soul wanted to experience it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to speak about it, because otherwise I would be like other people. It's like it's just like a flu. It's not a flu. I could feel the energy of it, and that's also very important if I should speak about it. I had to go through it to really feel the energy, and also I had the opportunity to transform it because it was in my body. And with all the light and all the high vibrating energies that I am here, that's my soul mission. I'm here to anchor, and I'm here to be. And bringing in that dark energy of the COVID was helping me, and was helping, as I see it. I was helping. I was doing my thing. My piece of the puzzle of supporting the collective in this was to bring it into my body and transform it. And I know that there are many light workers doing the same thing. So we were helping the collective in this way. And one other part of it was more like on a private individual level, and that was the difficulty to breathe. And I was getting the opportunity to dissolve a past lifetime when I died in pneumonia, and I was dying alone, and there were several things there, a lot of fears, and getting this panic of not being able to breathe. I was going to, oh, what's it called in English, to the hospital, to the emergency, after a month last year, because the pressure was so large on my lungs. I had a very mild version of it, but still my lungs was very, and I've had many symptoms until like October last year. So it's a nasty thing. It is. I don't see it as contagious as it's as people are saying. That's a different story. But I'm not gonna go into my theories of it. But yes, it's bad, but also it's not a pandemic. It's not a pandemic. It's so many other different things. But anyhow, okay, just leave it like that. Okay, that's my opinion. You should, think whatever you like. Um, okay, another had COVID, and during this healing program, and she asked, should I repeat the whole program afterwards because I can't be that present? And yes, I would suggest you to repeat the program. I will go through that during the next feedback video, how you can do that. Because, and also, the healing is, please continue with the healing sessions, because I know that the healing is helping you out during your virus thing. And also, yes, if you feel like I haven't been able to be that present, you can always do it once more or many times more. Okay, so that was some of the questions that have been emailed in, and we are already in week 3. Actually, last week. Wow, it's a last week. Amazing how we already are in the last week 3. Day 15, activation of the Christ codes, we did yesterday. And day 16 was another healing bath of unconditional love. And day 17 is the healing bath of kryptonite. It's a very self-empowering energy. It's going to be so interesting to hear what your experience is about the kryptonite energy. Day 18, we are preparing for the last couple of days of the healing program, and that is by grounding to the new earth. And day 19 and 20, we will work on expand beyond your limitations with freedom and ease. And day 21, consolidate the new expanded state of being. So that's the whole 3rd week. And please take care of yourself during this last week. I know that it's quite intense for you during this process. And yeah, it's a beautiful process that we're all doing together. And once again, you're doing such an amazing job. So thank you so much for doing this for yourselves and for the collective. I'm so grateful that we're doing this all together. So my love to you, and I'll see you next week for the last feedback video after week 3. Okay, take care. Bye. Bye bye.